A congregation in Tulare is now without a place of worship. A car plowed into their church. How the pastor's devotion is helping him remain positive and how the community can help as churchgoers rebuild.
As President Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin draws near, Ukrainian and European leaders are now voicing anxiety over the outcome.
The path to peace for Ukraine must be determined together and only together with Ukraine. This is fundamental.
President Trump has leverages how to push and press to Putin and Russia through the sanctions, through the tariffs, secondary sanctions for other countries, and I think it can bring a peace.
Why critics are worried about discussions of Ukrainian land concessions and how President Trump is trying to ease those concerns.
A federal judge is now siding with UCLA in its legal battle with the Trump administration. Hear what was behind the judge's decision to restore millions in federal funding.
You're watching Fox 26, and now, great day.
We begin this hour with a live look at the silhouette of El Capitan with a slight view of Half Dome in Yosemite National Park. A gorgeous morning. Before the sun comes up, you can still see the beautiful stars in the sky and, well, clearly the moon shining down and a slight bit of the sun. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Kim Stevens.
I'm Liz Gonzalez.
And I'm Justin Willis. Thank you for starting your Wednesday with us. Yeah, the moon's been pretty bright, but we're done with the full part of it. I think it's about 80% full right now, so that's where you're seeing Yosemite like that. But also having some other celestial events still going on
I
tonight.
was keeping an eye out to see whether we'd see any of the meteors, but I don't know if there's too much light out now or if...
Probably. When the moon's full like that, it can kind of hinder that a little bit. But up there, if you're up there, you probably see it. You're far enough away from the light pollution to check that out. But some other good news for you. The heat's starting to back off, but just a tad. Still got a lot of triple digits out there for you today. And current conditions show that we do have clear skies. We are at 72 degrees at the moment. Wind speeds are at 5 miles an hour. Dew point currently at 53. And here's the rest of your day. Plenty of sunshine for us once again. 81 at 10 a.m., 89 at noon. 5 o'clock, we're at 100 degrees. Wind speeds picking up again for us at the end of the day at 11 miles an hour for you at 5 o'clock. Coming up next, though, your next weather maker. Hey, this is some good news here. Things are going to start backing off a little bit. We'll see some normal temperatures thanks to this. I'll explain what's going on coming up.
Questions are still swirling this morning after the sudden resignation of Mariposa County's district attorney. Michael McAfee resigned Monday, effective immediately. Former District Attorney Walter Wall was appointed to serve as interim DA. McAfee was just appointed at the beginning of the year to replace Wall. Exactly why McAfee suddenly resigned is still unclear. A Fresno man is now facing several felony charges in connection to a massive drug bust in South Dakota. Now, this is being called the largest meth bust in that state highway patrol history. 42-year-old Alonzo Molina Corona of Fresno was pulled over for speeding. Officers say a canine detected drugs, so the car was searched, and whoa, look what was found. Over 200 pounds of meth. That's a dollar value of about $12 million. Corona faces multiple charges, including felony distribution and possession of a controlled substance.
A crash into a Tulare church now has members asking for the community's help to fix it. The crash happened Sunday. Police say a person driving a stolen car led them on the chase, and that car then crashed into another car before plowing into Open Door Holiness Church at Inyo and F Streets. The crash left broken walls, shattered windows, and a well-loved church building is now unsafe.
We were blessed not to be there at that particular time because that's when the car came in and hit where our music instruments were sitting, and we were blessed not to be there. We thank God for that right today. For that.
Well, now Pastor Wade and church members need your prayers and help. He says that the church is now trying to raise $25,000 for repairs. If you'd like to donate to help that church rebuild, just go to our website, KMPH.com, and look for the story. There is a link to the church's GoFundMe page.
Happening today, President Trump will meet virtually with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and several other European leaders. Now, their conversation comes ahead of President Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday. That one will be in person in Anchorage, Alaska. Significant obstacles stand in the way of a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky wants security guarantees from allies. He says otherwise Russia could attack again in the future. Zelensky says Putin is already planning an offensive as soon as next week.
Putin is determined only to present a meeting with America as his personal victory and then continue acting exactly as before.
Another sticking point involves land. Zelensky says handing over parts of eastern Ukraine could set the stage for another Russian invasion. But President Trump is offering a more optimistic outlook.
Be some land swapping going on. I know that through Russia and through conversations with everybody to the good, for the good of Ukraine.
Critics of the summit say it's just too early for the U.S. to offer up any concessions, especially if Ukrainian leadership is not present. Zelensky was not invited to Friday's summit.
He should not be offering land for peace, Ukrainian land, and he should have President Zelensky at the table. You know, it's too reminiscent of 1938 when the Prime Minister of Great Britain and the leader of France met with Hitler and, you know, gave away Sudetenland of Czechoslovakia, and it came back so they had peace in our time. Any negotiation has to have Zelensky at the table.
President Trump says he will know in the first 2 minutes if Putin is serious about peace.
Meanwhile, U.S. officials appear to be downplaying expectations for peace. The Trump administration says the president views the summit as a fact-finding mission and not a negotiation on the Ukraine war.
This is a listening exercise for the president. Look, only one party that's involved in this war is going to be present. And so this is for the president to go and to get, again, a more firm and better understanding of how we can hopefully bring this war to an end.
However, President Trump recently said that he's not looking to strike a deal because it's, quote, not our war. The White House says that he just wants to see if Putin is serious about ending the conflict. Russia began its war in Ukraine in February of 2022.
Our time now is 5:06, and here's what's happening with our forecast for today. So we're kind of in the same pattern we were yesterday. Still some high pressure, enough to keep us hot, but we have some low pressure dropping in from the Pacific Northwest. It's starting to break that up a little bit, and so we're going to see our temperatures back off a little bit because of that. Still have some low pressure kind of hanging out over Nevada, but moving eastward there, and that's still creating the possibility of some thunderstorm activity in the Sierra Nevada mountains. So we do have some slight chances of that. Let me show that to you with your Futurecast radar here and see what's happening there. By 2 o'clock this afternoon, we could see some developments there in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Not as much as yesterday. It's just about a 10 to 15% chance of anything happening, and that includes rain, thunder, lightning, erratic winds, that sort of thing. And again, that's in the higher elevations there. And that'll last until about 7 o'clock tonight. We'll see another very slight chance tomorrow about noon there, more so in Sequoia National Park, Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park on that one. That'll last for a couple hours, and then that gets out of here. Friday, there's another possibility, but we'll keep an eye on the chances for that coming up. In the meantime, we still have a heat advisory going. Obviously, nothing for the San Joaquin Valley, but over in the Owens Valley there along 395, we do have a heat advisory still in effect until tonight at 8 o'clock. Temperature is going to get very hot there, triple digits likely in some places. Also, an extreme heat warning still going in the desert regions, but that'll expire this morning. Wind speeds right now aren't too bad. We're getting to 10 miles an hour out in Lemoore at the moment, but everybody else is below that. However, our peak winds over the next 24 hours are going to pick up, similar to what they were yesterday in the latter parts of the day, about 10, 15 miles an hour up and down the San Joaquin Valley, getting up to 20 miles an hour out in Los Banos once again today, and just 5 miles an hour from Oakhurst all the way to Sequoia National Park. The humidity, it's still fairly dry out there for us. We're looking at 36% relative overall today, down to about 14% at the end of the day. Rebounding, though, to 53% tonight, so not too bad there. Dew point, though, backing off a little bit. We're at 52 today. Temperature-wise, here's what we're looking at the next few days. 101 is your high today, but then backing off to some normal temperatures there. We got a 98 tomorrow and on Friday there. That'll feel nice compared to what we've been dealing with. 60s overnight, wind speeds hanging out about 5 to 10 miles an hour over the next few days, maybe a 15-mile-an-hour gust here and there. Up next, we're going to get a look at your highs and lows across the rest of the San Joaquin Valley.
Time is now 5:09. Hundreds of National Guard members are now in Washington, D.C. following the president's emergency declaration, who's now disputing the city's recent crime rate data.
The South Valley Skycam, sponsored by BD&J Injury Lawyers.
And a live look now at Lake Cahuilla just before the sunrise. It is 73 degrees there right now. You can find new headlines and the weather forecast on your screen all morning long, even through the commercial break.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.